Good morning, welcome back to Morning at NTV, and today we are big on the film industry in Uganda. So we're looking at now, when it gets to training, what standards do they abide by? Are they there? Are they intact? What do they follow when it comes to, grooming the new people who want to get into that space? Is it a factor, or is it just a matter of talent? You have talent, now get in. So to shed some more light on that, we have Kerieko Pamela, who is an actor and director in training. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start on a good note. Uganda was able to scoop some awards last week.
Yes.
Tell us more about it.
Oh my God, that was like so very exciting. It was one of those moments where you feel so proud to be in the industry. We brought home 2 awards.
Yay.
For The Forbidden by Samuel Xavier Kizito and Chenvu by Kemi Ondo Coutinho.
What does that tell us about the film industry in this century?
Simply put, it's growing further. I mean, it's growing bigger and bigger. Every award ceremony that comes on, we bring home more and more awards. We have more and more nominations, meaning that the film industry in Uganda is big. It's making its mark in the African film fraternity.
And these awards actually didn't take place here.
No, they took place in Zanzibar. Yeah. So that's why it's such a proud moment for us. It's, man, we made it.
Congratulations on that. Who
Thank
exactly won?
Samuel Xavier Kizito for The Forbidden, and Kemi Ondo Coutinho for Chenvu.
Guys, if you've not watched those 2 films, go out and watch them. I mean, they won awards.
Yeah.
Congratulations for that. Now,
you.
let's get down to the film industry. You have been in the space for over 8 years now.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, how has it been for you getting in? Did it mean only talent, or was training important as well?
At the time I got in, really, it was the talent. It's the talent that got me in. But being in it, the bigger I grew, should I say, and the farther I went, I realized the need, the necessity for training. Because the farther you go, it becomes less about talent and more about what do you do with that talent. Yeah. So I got to a point where I was told it was a flat plane. There was no going up, and I could not let myself go down. So I had to figure out a way. What is lacking? How best do I do this? How do I move forward from where I have come? Because talent can only get you so far.
And that was at what point of your career? How many years in?
Oh, wow. That was about 4 or 5 years in. Yes. Yeah.
And is it just you alone, or every other person that you work along with feels the same way? Because
we all
I
get
know
to a point and you start to feel it. It's not something that you know from the get-go. From the beginning, it seems like it's just,
it comes naturally.
It's going to come to you. It's okay, yeah? What's getting a script and getting your lines and going in front of the camera and pushing it. But the further you grow, you realize there's a lot more that goes into it. I move around with a backpack and it's all packed with scripts, and everyone is wondering, are you an actor? Why are you moving around with a backpack? Scripts. Because you never stop studying your script.
Right.
So you get to a point and you realize, it's a lot more than
there's
just
more
the
to
talent.
it.
Yeah.
Let's get down to the training factors. I'm sure when you got in, it wasn't as rosy as it is right now.
No.
Tell us more about how it was then, 8 years back, and what has changed.
In terms of the training?
Yes.
Well, when I got in, there was no training. At least I don't remember any. But there was no training whatsoever. You got in because you impressed on stage or on camera. That's how you got in. And then you stayed there by continuing to impress. However, now we are at a point where there's different filmmakers that are coming up with different training programs that help, some for actors, some for directors, some for different things. A few months ago, maybe 2 months ago, Mr. Chigozi organized a training coaching with a New York-based training coach, Nick something, I forget the name. But I was privileged to be among the people that were invited. And we did learn a lot. It was so short. I wished we had more time.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's an initiative. If it starts with that, there were 2 that time. It starts with that and it keeps going. So there's training for actors. There's training for directors. I am hoping, I believe, there's training for cinematographers and sound and all that. So yeah, different people are taking the initiative to train. And I believe that's just going to make our industry do like.
Yeah. I know we are now, the industry is now, making steps in the right direction because of that training factor.
Yes.
Would you say that it's the reason why some years back, when you were in the industry, or maybe even before that,
Yeah.
that's the reason why we were having poor quality productions getting out? Is that the only reason, or financing was also, did it play a major factor in that? Is it financing or just purely lack of training?
I'll say both have a factor to play. Both have a factor to play, because with training doesn't really teach you a lot of things that you don't know. If you're talented and you take time to read up on what you do, and I'd imagine that someone who's interested in something is going to take the time. I mean, I'm in Uganda, but the internet is my friend, no?
Right.
So I'm going to take time and try to read up on things that I do not know or that I do not experience in my country. So I believe that even without training, somehow someone is able to do one thing or the other. However, the funding does play a huge role, because there are things you see and you want to do them, but you can't afford them. So you end up taking a step back, or compromising, I'll call it. You end up compromising a lot of things just to fit in, to be able to do one thing or other, to bring your dream to life, shoot that short movie, put it out, or direct that feature, put it out. And obviously, because this isn't there or that isn't there, we end up having a lot of glitches in our productions. Not that we want them, but because a lot of times we can't really avoid them.
Yeah, because of the financial factor.
Yes.
Okay, back to training. Let's look at the standards. You're now part of a program
Yes.
that is underway.
Yes.
How long will it take?
It will end in the next 2 weeks. It's been on for 2 weeks.
Okay.
It will end in the next 2 weeks.
Just 4 months.
Just 4
For actually a month.
A month,
Yeah,
yeah,
4
just
weeks.
4 weeks.
Yes. Just 4 weeks, that's a month.
Yes.
Now, in the training, and I'm sure you've also taken part in different trainings.
Yeah.
What is different this time round in terms of the standards that you're noticing in this current one that you're in?
Basically, the nitty-gritties of production. A lot of things that we ignore, that I have seen be ignored. It's the nitty-gritties, for detail, from inception of the concept to the scripting to breaking down the directorial concept and all those things. I have never seen that in my life anywhere. But then again, I have not been on the other side.
Yeah.
So I don't know who does what. You understand what I mean? But it can come out with the end production if someone has really planned and broken everything down bit by bit, brick by brick. It is very easy to see in the end production. And I haven't seen a lot of that. I've seen some, I haven't seen a lot of that.
Tell us more about it. It's a group of people who have now just, ganged up. You said there's a director from here.
Wow.
Director from here, and
Yes.
it's not just training for the Ugandan film directors, it's, with other countries.
Yeah.
Tell us more about it.
It's actually stage directing,
Okay.
this one. It's strictly theatre. So she's called Adong Judith. She got classic training, proper professional training abroad, and she decided to come and bring a program here where she can train up-and-coming professionals. So she's done this for the past 3 years now. There's been different directors. 2 years. This is the third or fourth. I'm not so sure. But yeah, she's done this for the past 2, 3 or 4 years. This isn't either the third or the fourth. And previously it's been just Ugandans. So she's had Ugandan apprentices. This year she opened it up to Africa. And we have Kenyan apprentices and we have Zimbabwean apprentices. Yeah,
And it's purely on directorship.
purely on directorship.
Why are we having a scarcity in this particular training programs? And I've noticed by what you're telling me, it's people who have been out of the country coming back to somewhat give back
Yeah.
to the industry. Why are we not having this locally? Is it a gap in the industry itself by the players, who it's you, the actors, the directors and all that? Or is it the system that is not supporting the film industry? What exactly is it?
The system, wow. Okay. Let me not get into the system. However, I think people are not going to train what they do not know or what they do not have. And there's only so much you can learn online.
So what you're saying is we do not have Ugandans who have been in the industry for long enough to be able to come out and train the rest. Is that
No,
what you're saying?
actually, no. What I'm saying is we have a lot of Ugandans who have been in the industry who are self-taught. Now, it is very hard for someone who is self-taught to give off that knowledge to someone else and they get it right. A lot of them, I'm sure, have tried to train. But then what are you training and how are you training it?
What are you benchmarking against?
Exactly my point. Because what's the difference between you and I? I could also go online and do exactly what you've done.
Wow.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So it becomes hard for someone who hasn't really had the proper training, and I insist on using the word proper, to give that knowledge off, to impart that knowledge to someone else, because they will be imparting half-baked work. Yeah.
I get you. I get you. And so right now you're still in that program. After you're done, after the 4 weeks are done, and that will be in the next coming 2 weeks, are you seeing yourself getting into that space now that you will have, you know, acquired the right skills to at least, you know, give back to the industry?
The right skills, far from it.
Far from it?
Far from it. It's
Okay.
a learning process. What I have acquired is basic. It's basic training. I can build on that. But right now, to jump off this program and say I'm going
I'll
directly
share.
into, or I'm going to share, I would be lying. Whoever I'm going to share to, I will be doing them a disservice because I am not grounded yet. And that's another problem we have in the industry. Someone has attended 1 or 2, you know, master classes or what, and oh yeah, you know what, I'm ready. But these things are practical. It takes time. So yeah, I will direct maybe school plays and things like that just to get in, you know, get in the hang of
Why are you
things.
downplaying yourself?
I'm not downplaying myself, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it comes with experience. Here, we are being trained, but a lot of things are being done for us, if you know what I mean, because at the end of the day, someone has a production to put out, and they're going to make sure that their production is good. It doesn't matter how much you have learned.
Right.
You get what I mean? So for me to jump out of this and say, now I am ready, I'm not ready. I haven't gotten down to the nitty-gritties of things which I need to do, and I can only do that with enough practice here and there before I decide to get on the big stage to do that.
Let me ask you one thing, and this is a discussion we were having a few weeks back, still on the film industry.
Yes.
And it came to the fore that you guys, amongst yourselves, are not united. Shed some light onto that, because I'm thinking if you're united, then it's even possible, it's going to be easier for you people to rally up and get an international trainer to come in and invest in training new people. What's happening? You people are so divided. What's wrong?
I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. Art is it's an industry of egos. People have massive egos. Now, every time you have a bunch of egotistic people in one place, there's going to be a lot of, I know better, I know more, I've been here longer, I know more people, you know, that type of thing. And that is what usually brings the division. It's not about who knows what better, I know, or who's more talented or whatnot. It's a case of, I know more people, I know, you know, it's small. And I am going to say it, it's petty. Get over it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the only thing that is putting you guys apart.
It is, because I was in Kenya a few weeks ago, and in Kenya, there's a plan to have an animation school, full-blown animation school, and they're targeting the young people who are coming up with animation. It's getting so popular, and they're driving it. They're championing that ride. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
In Uganda, what do we have? Every time we talk to people and tell them, you know what, we should do this in Uganda, they tell us, who do we talk to? Because there's so many entities, and all of them they seem to have the same mandate, they seem to have the same goal in mind. We are here for the film industry, we are here for the artists. But when you get down to it, this one wants to sabotage the other one wants to sabotage the other one. It's all over the place. So it becomes hard for someone to come in and say, I want to put you guys together. We have here about 5 different institutions, companies, or whatever, all saying they are fighting for the artists. 5 different ones. In Kenya, they have 1. Why am I benchmarking Kenya? Because that's where I go.
Right.
I see what their industry looks like. You understand?
Yeah.
So the Baganda have this saying, amamesa amanji.
Right.
You know? So I don't see why we need to have all those different companies, and what I call them companies, honestly, because I feel they are in it for their own selfish desires. So it doesn't make sense to me. And none of them are very clear about their mandate. So there's no transparency. Now, what's an artist supposed to do who wants to join one? Who feels maybe I'm in a good place if I'm with one, which, by the way, they are. You're in a very good place if you're under a company, because it becomes easier for them to stand up for you. It becomes a one voice. So not one artist is walking into the parliament or into UCC or into Media Council.
Right.
You have the one person. By the way, Media Council, what is Media Council?
Why are you saying that?
I'm just saying because there seems to be a lot of things that apparently Media Council handles on behalf of the film industry and UCC handles on behalf of the film industry, which are under the mandate of the Ministry of Gender and Culture. So it is confusing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which brings me back to my point. Where we have 5 or 6, others have 1, and they're doing a lot more than us.
But let me ask you a question. You said that it's an issue to do with egos. Egos. So is this ego issue coming from a point of ignorance? Because number one, for you to get into the industry, it's just pretty much based on your talent. So if I get there and it's my talent that has got me all these funds, then there's no place where I can now come down and get to be accountable to.
Yeah.
So is it that lack of a clear structure of how to get into the system, get into the industry? Would you attribute it to that, the ego issue?
No, everywhere you go, artists have egos. I don't know if there's an industry that has bigger egos than the film arts, basically, in general. Everywhere in the world you go, they have major egos. However, a lot of them decide to see the bigger picture. They decide to focus on the bigger picture, that we are stronger united. So, yes, I may have my ego. Yes, you may be this, you may be that. But I'll have those issues within me, and let you run the show for now, and then I'll come and take over from you, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Here, it's a case of, oh, so that one has started this, okay, let me also do it. Regardless.
Competition.
A stupid competition, because competition is healthy, but there's a stupid competition, which it's a case of, oh, so she did that, how can she do that? I can do better, regardless of whether they can or not.
Yeah.
That doesn't come into play.
Yeah.
Yeah? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a case of, no, this one did this, I can also do better. If this one started a production company, let me also start one.
And what do you think the solution would be? Because I'm thinking, even these 5 institutions that say they have the same goals to make the film industry thrive, are at a place whereby it's hard even for us to work with you people because you're all egoistic.
Now
so
we know.
So what do you think the solution is to just taming you people?
It's going to have to come from within. We're going to have to realize, we have to realize that we are so much stronger united people. There's so much to do, and we can do it, but we need to come together. And we all need to sit down at a round table and discuss what is it. Because the truth is, all of them do have a strong suit. All of them are coming from somewhere of strength. Now, if we can put all those areas of strength together, we can be stronger. We can make this film industry so much bigger than a lot of people that we look up to. Because let's be honest, we have a lot of resources here. A lot.
Yeah.
But we just need to tap into them. And tapping into them, we're going to have to get rid of our egos, and come together as a team and say, you know what, if you're in charge now, I can wait for my following year to be in charge. At the end of the day, we are all shooting for the same goal.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's brilliant. Let's get down to the financial issue, because you said it's not just training. Because if training is excellent and financing is an issue, then you'll still struggle. So on the financial issue, where are we at now? Can you comfortably say that out of the 8 years that you've been in the industry, that film pays you comfortably?
Well, me? Yeah.
Oh, then we are at a good place. Now I understand where the ego is coming from.
Me, yes. Me, film pays me. I will tell you, it does pay me comfortably. But that's not to say that there's people that it does not work for. When it comes to funding, a few people will be able to get the funding and a few won't. And if you look at it critically, you will realize that the people who do get the funding have been trained. They know exactly what to target, they know how to put it, and they know how to deliver it. A lot of people that haven't gotten training do not know how to ask for funding. So there's a lot of rejections. There's a lot of doors shut in our faces.
Yeah.
Because you go and ask for money, but you don't exactly know how to ask for the money. So it's not that the people are not willing to put the money in, but we don't know how to present our cases. So that is where the training comes in handy. Because talent can only go so far.
Yes, yes. So it's a chain.
Yes.
Such that if this loop is disconnected, then you cannot get to the next step.
Yes.
Wow, wow. Let's get down to that factor. You said that you are paid comfortably and that you earn a day-to-day living comfortably just from film. But we have many other people, because I know for you, I mean, it's easy. I mean, you're a lead actress in many of the productions. Let's talk about the rest. Can they be in a position to speak like you do in terms of them being comfortable about what they're being paid? What are the standards of payment? What are the standards of payment in the film industry? I can't speak
for other people.
But I'm sure you know now that especially you're being, trained into being in that space. You've been there for 8 years. I'm sure you know what the payment trunk looks like.
It all comes down to your bargaining power, really. From everything that I have experienced so far, it comes down to your bargaining power. I've been privileged to get to a point where I can command my daily rate. But that has come with years of training, with years of being in the industry, with years of honing my skill, really. So I can command it. I don't really have to ask. By the time someone calls me for a show, they really know, yeah, with Pam, you're going to have to put something on the table, But it wasn't always like that. There were times when I was called for shows and for productions, and there was no money on the table. And then it was up to me to figure out, do I want to do this? What does this add on to me? With or without the money, how am I going to be able to do this? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it also goes beyond the money.
The value.
It goes beyond the money at some point.
It gets to the value that you're gaining out of it.
Exactly my point, yes. So I did have those moments as well. But you need to draw the line where it is not always like that. How
do you get around that?
Now, that also comes down to your personality. It comes down to the person. Everybody has a goal, an end game, yeah? So what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? You make a different, I made a different plan for the different levels that I wanted to get at.
Right.
Yeah, and I follow those. But it comes down to the person. So where people have gotten into this industry because they want to be celebrities, because they want to be on TV, because they want to, that and the other. Some people are getting into the industry because they want to learn. Other people are getting into the industry because they see themselves somewhere else other than just here. So different people have different agendas in the industry. So it comes down to the person.
Because I know of instances where many actors are actually exploited.
Yes.
By the managers of the films.
Yes, that is definitely true. And again, it comes down to the person. Why do I put it that way? Every producer in Uganda, at least right now, is going to look for a way to cut costs.
Right.
A lot of actors in Uganda right now do not even have a daily rate. Many of them don't even have headshots. Many of them don't have show reels. Many of them don't have a lot of things that an actor should have. Not because they don't want to, but because they don't even know they're supposed to have these things.
Training.
They don't even know they're supposed to have these things. So a producer will come and say, I want actors to do this and that, A, B, C, and D. And this actor will show up because, hey, you know what? There's a film. Yeah, so you know what? It's a small budget. I only have lunch for you and transport. And an actor will say, I'm going to be on TV. Oh, and they lead with that a lot. It has become a song here.
Wow.
I'm giving you exposure. Someone else will see you on my film and you're going to be exposed. A young actor who's trying to get into the industry is not going to throw that away.
Right.
They're going to get into it. But then that doesn't work out the way they did, and they'll wait for the next one, and it will be the same story, and they'll wait for the next, and they'll wait for the next, because not very many are privileged. Not very many get the chance, the opportunity to get to a lot of places where they would want to be.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help that our institution that should be really, when I was growing up in school, if you said you wanted to do MDD, it was called Musiru Dala Dala. So you were considered to simply put, stupid person for wanting to do MDD. It was one of those courses that no one really paid a lot of attention to. So you find that a lot of people, even with the passion to do something, they will stay away from it because of the stigma surrounding it.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So it comes from, I've finished school, I've given my parents this, now I want to go into the arts, but then you do not know how. You don't know what you're supposed to do.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much. At least now we know it all boils down to the training.
Yeah, one way or another.
And if you're to tell the government to do something for you guys, what would it be as we come to a close? That one thing that they need to do with regards to training.
MDD department in Makerere needs to move from theory to practical, because the theory part in our industry is very small compared to what the practicability is, and add the business side to it as well, because we are not going to eat scraps forever. Really, we need to make money from this craft, and we can if we are showed how to. The support is there. We have upcoming awards showing that at least it's not all gloom. Yes. UFF is coming up. You said it's happening when? Which one? UFF? UFF usually happens in August. Okay. Yes. All right. Yes. So the lines for voting will be open very soon. There's no voting in UFF. Okay. So it's a panel. It's a panel. Pretty much on credit. On credit. Nothing else. Nothing else. Okay, we also have the AMVCS coming up. Yes. Many people have been nominated. We have 13 nominations for Uganda. Are you excited about it? Extremely. Why not? I mean, every awarding ceremony that comes up, we have more nominations. A lot of people are winning, and we are looking forward, and we are gunning for you guys. We are voting Raymond, Rain, all those guys. We are voting for you guys. We are supporting you, rooting for you all the way, because your win is our win too. Thank you so much, Pam, for coming through. We truly hope that something happens in your industry, because once you are organized as an industry, then you'll be able to attract more investors into the space. Definitely. Thank you so much for being part of this discussion. In case you want to get into the industry, that's what you need to know. So look at where can you fill in the gap and get in and help out. That has been it for Morning at NTV Solutions segment. My name is Malaki Villaudera. Morning at NTV still continues. Up next is Take Note.